Millions of families will receive the first in a series of monthly payments from the expanded child tax credit this week. It could be a game changer for some parents and guardians struggling to pay for the rising price of childcare. And in some parts of the country, so-called childcare deserts are growing larger, raising questions about where young kids will go when their parents return to the office. Joining us now to discuss this is the CEO and co-founder of the Learning Experience Academy of Early Education, Richard Weissman. Richard, thanks for being with us. So first, let's talk about the critical role childcare plays in the nation's economic recovery. Break that down for our audience.
Well, listen, I'm a true believer that education is the forefront of all recovery efforts and also all economic disadvantages, to take those away from those disadvantages and have them have an opportunity for significant opportunities in their life. So what we have missed during this pandemic is that social, emotional, and educational well-being of these young children. And I think it is not only critical to get back, but just to say, for the record, we are seeing a significant rebound in most recent months. And we're almost at 90% where we were pre-pandemic levels. Not to mention, we will leave this year, as we focus on it, that we thought it was a moment in time and an opportunity. We will leave this year post-pandemic with 100 additional new schools that we started this pandemic.
So though, having schools that are open and placements available for your children, that's one thing, but you have to be able to afford it. Even before the pandemic, childcare was really, really high. And now I'm seeing your reports where people are trying to get their kids back into childcare, into daycare, nursery schools, and they're being quoted double the cost that it was even before the pandemic. Can you explain why prices continue to rise?
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen double, and clearly if I take the last year and a half, it's probably about a 5 to 8% increase. But let's break it down to its easiest component. We're open 60 hours a week, and our average childcare cost around the country right now is about $1,100 a month for 60-hour care a week. Now, clearly it's much more in Manhattan than it is in maybe South Florida. But the truth of the matter is, if you take the 60 hours a week divided by what our average tuition is, it runs between $4 and $8 an hour for the working mother and father. And that's clearly who we cater to, the two-income mother and fathers. And, at the moment in time, there's still an opportunity for women to get back to the workforce. We're seeing a very low participation rate by women right now, and I think it's a 33-year low right now. And so the women need to get back to the workforce. The opportunity for the two-income mother fathers should be right in front of us. I'm very optimistic about that. And candidly, the cost of childcare, is a direct correlation, though, of the fact that what labor cost is increasing. We have seen, and I have seen it in our schools, roughly a 15 to 18% increase just in the last 2 years on labor costs.
So why have so many childcare facilities shut down, and what are the chances that they'll ever reopen?
Well, listen, 90% of the market was mom and pops. It was small at-home childcare centers, and that's what the United States was primarily focused on, the mom and pops. The national and regional chains, which were much better prepared for going into a world crisis, which cost our company and all childcare companies a significant amount of money. The truth is that a lot of the mom and pops just were not prepared to have the staying power. And we do expect that 20% and maybe 25%, 1 out of 4 childcare centers may never reopen. That presents opportunities for others, such as us. And that's why we're going to leave this market with 100 brand new centers. Then we started, call it 2019. And so we'll see probably a shrinking of the mom and pop marketplaces and increasing amount of opportunity for the national and regional chains to grow.
Hey, Richard, I just want to circle back to when you mentioned that the labor costs have gone up significantly. I find that very interesting because, one of the things that we know in this country is we don't always pay the people who take care of our children an awful lot of money. You don't get rich. You do it because you love working with young children and watching their development. Can you kind of speak to why the labor costs are going up? Is something changing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's two conversations. It's one, what the government did with the extra $300 a week, where people made more staying at home than they did working in the child care center on a net after-tax dollar basis. Two is the whole conversation of the $15 minimum wage is something that created an expectation level. Whether we get to $15 on a federal guidance basis or not, we're almost there. I mean, I think our average right now is $14.95, not including teachers. So, you know, for us, that pressure associated with the conversation, with what happened during the pandemic and the extra money that went home from the government directly to the employees, all put pressure on attracting the talent. You know, we were significantly injured for a short period of time, and we went down 70% in our student count, forced by the government for closures or taking care of only first responder kids. And so we had to rebuild our entire staff. And when we went back in the market to rebuild, to attract the best talent, those labor costs went up significantly over the last year and a half.
Very interesting. So let me ask you about the role that the private sector might perhaps play in helping women re-enter the workforce and getting parents back into the office.
Well, look, I'm certainly going to do my share and open as many facilities as we can to take care of. You know, we're a very small percentage that is what we call government funding. We do expect the government funding to be a larger percentage in the years to come, and that can definitely help. You know, the private sector is going to have the best opportunity right now to take care of those children. One, we can open schools much faster than the government sector. Two, our teacher-student ratios are much lower. You know, it goes from a 1-to-3 or 1-to-4 ratio in infants to 1-to-8 to 1-to-12 in call it 4-year-olds. And so going into the public sector may not be the best for that age category. I am also a huge believer that the public sector, if they get into the preschool business, and some states have, that putting young children, 3 years old, 4 years old, mixed in an elementary school with children in 6th grade is not a healthy environment. And so be focused on those age categories in a safe and secure environment with great education. We teach Mandarin, we teach sign language, we teach our ABCs and sciences and coding. And so those opportunity to get back, I think, is critical at this particular point. You know, it is devastating, and we'll see in the generations to come whether, in fact, the loss of the year and a half of education for a young child during the time of their lives, during the time of all our lives, that we gain a majority of our IQ before the age of 7, to miss a year and a half over 7 years, that is an insane amount of lost opportunity. So we have a lot of work in the private sector and the public sector to get back to education, to have these children make friends, be socially responsible, be in an environment away from the parents and learn what it is, you know, to be a good human being. That's all part of the education that we're missing in the last year and a half. And I am sure the parents want to get back to work. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to, very quickly before we have to let you go, I wanted to get your take on, you know, how the Biden administration is doing. You know about the American Families Plan, which includes a major investment in child care, part of what he called the human infrastructure, that initially he pitched as a component of infrastructure, sort of total infrastructure for the country. But I want to get your take on that, the idea of investing in human infrastructure, and what do you think of the way the Biden administration is approaching early childhood education?
Well, I'm not sure it's really been truly defined. It's a very macro conversation at present. So I really don't know exactly what his intentions are, and I certainly do not want to get political about this answer. But listen, the government can partner with the private sector. And every time in my 40 years in business, the government has partnered with the private sector, not worked away from the private sector, it's always benefited the masses. And so as long as they continue to partner with the private sector, they have 100% of my support. And so I think that it needs to be more defined, and then I can give you a much more clear answer. But we'll see what comes through the Senate and Congress at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a fair response.
Yeah.
Richard Weissman, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.